Thursday, 7th of May 2020. We are right after US cash market open. Piotr here. Good afternoon from Europe. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. This is the Light Forex Global YouTube channel and this is the US cash market update. Up and down and up and down and again up and again down and so on. That's how it looks right now. What we have, what is going on, that's what we are going to discuss. Let's start with the morning data. There was the German industrial production minus 9.2. Expectations were minus 7.3. Horrible. Then was the Bank of England, and here was some kind of the surprise. I think the market quickly realized that what the members of the Bank of England are saying is a big BS. If you want to know what BS stands for, then I'm sorry, but you have to Google it. So they are wait and see. They're on wait and see mode. Of course, they said they are not out of the tools. So we've seen initial spike to the upside. Pound hit nice supply, hit some stops, and that's right now the real pound direction we have. All right. So that was the fireworks when it comes to the pound. I'm staying short pound, guys. I'm staying short pound. But I missed pound yen. Jeez, I missed that one. I thought, if you remember, we were discussing this. I thought that we are going to hit this intraday supply, right? So I've been waiting for a little bit higher levels, all right? And they didn't get there. So the pound, there was some fireworks when it comes to the pound earlier today. Now, market through the Asian hours, when it comes to the indices, market immediately went higher. One of the reason was, there is still we are getting back into the US-China trade war. So yesterday Trump said, I don't know if they are going to commit or no. So that was one of the reason. We've seen market went lower yesterday, right? But as I mentioned, since Asian hours, we see higher levels almost through the roof. It's worth to mention that Nasdaq is already positive when it comes to 2020. That's, for me, I don't want to discuss it, right? It's comical situation, because then the whole US-China trade deal is another BS, right? But the reality, we got 2 hours or maybe 2 hours 25 minutes ago with the weekly jobless claims. So the expectations were 3 million. We got 3,169,000, right? So we get weaker number. But what Algo got from that number, that it was second in a row lower, right? So another comical situation. Anyway, Nasdaq is positive, so there is no doubt. As we discussed previously, market may longer stay irrational than what we can hold. Anyway, I've got tiny here. Where is camera? Here. I've got tiny exposure when it comes to the indices, and I'm still dollar positive, and I'm still dollar long. That's how I see the things. So that's how it looks when it comes to the news. There are more this news, but eventually I'm going to make a separate update, as we have to discuss few charts. Let's start With euro dollar, we are testing the last, almost the last zone, the last line when it comes to possible bullish activity, right? So the bulls should start to be more active between 770, 750. In case of the daily close below 750, I think we might speed it up very, very quickly. We've seen two retests of the possible supply we discussed yesterday and continuation to the downside. When it comes to euro, unfortunately, I have tiny, like almost similar to indices exposure, right? I have a little bit bigger exposure when it comes to the pound, where I'm still bearish. So pound, as I mentioned, failure at the supply, breaking 23.30, so we are entering, most probably we are entering 22.40, as discussed quite a few times. Nothing for me here, as I have the exposure already. Looking to somehow to join the pound yen. All right, not sure, but you know, with this sentiment we've seen right now, there is a possibility for the, for example, dollar yen spike higher towards the fixing. So maybe pound yen somehow will retest 132.20. That would be my entry. But it's, you know, question mark. I have to put the question mark here because you know, I don't think cable is going to slow down when it comes to the lower levels. Looks like we might see even today retest of 22.50. Looks like we are on a good way to go there, right? What I'm observing, by the way, when I'm talking that I have this type of the exposure or this type of the exposure, whatever, you can monitor. Don't forget, you can monitor. Link is in the description. You can monitor live what I'm doing, guys. All right. So it's not only BS from my side. Most of the things we are discussing, I'm doing, and you can monitor. On that particular account, you can monitor. There are 3 different strategies or even 4 different strategies at once. So it might be a little bit of the mismatch, but that's the way, at least to show you that it's not only talking, but also putting the money where my mouth is. But that's the things for now we are discussing. I'm already have some exposure. I do have exposure on the Australian dollar as well, but looking to add. Now, the thing is, if that swing high could survive. If you remember, we were discussing higher levels towards 66.40 plus as a short opportunity. Unfortunately, lately, market on the daily chart broke through some rising trend line, and as of now, we've seen retest and failure. Okay, we might see another retest, but towards 66.40, there is, you know, the broken trend line has to go higher, so it could take another few days before, you know, we see new high, but under the rising trend line. That could be interesting. So watching, tiny exposure, but here I'm very close eventually to add into the position. Gold, well, tricky. We are discussing. I've been quite okay with yesterday move to the downside, but today we are recovering. Now the question is, how high can we go? Because right now, right here, from the 1 hour chart perspective, we are testing the breakdown level, right? So it's gonna be very, very interesting what they wanna do right here, right now, how they wanna play these things. So again, it's higher, it's lower, it's higher again, eventually higher again, just to kick us out if we recognize the range, then lower again, and that's how it looks. And the volatility a little bit higher. I think it stays here, but we have to be extremely careful. Lower the exposure to be, you know, to not be hurt. Be very, very careful. We will see where we are going to end up. Tricky market, that's the truth. If you were wondering that, for example, you made few statistics lately and whoa, I've been stopped out here, I had something here, here was trailing stop, here was again stop out. Yeah, that's how the market looks like these days. All right. I'm going to get back with more updates if necessary. For now, that's it. Guys, don't be trapped. Dollar is stronger. Indices are tricky. Don't be trapped and see you around. Have a good one, guys. Take care and goodbye.